So you're just watching them like drool over each other and not be able to do anything about it. And it's amazing. Who here loves slow burns? Me, I do. I do. I've realized lately that slow burns are my top tier, God tier. I'm obsessed with slow burn romances. The tension, build up, the drama, the unknown. There's so much in a slow burn book or a slow burn series that we have to uncover. It just leaves me happy. As a reader, it leaves me really, really happy. So I decided to compile a little small list of some of my favorite slow burn romances. Let's just get right into it. I want to first start out with the queen of slow burns, Mariana Zapata. This one specifically, all of Mariana Zapata books are slow burns. You are reading a brick of a book and then you get just a little bit at the end and it's incredible. In this book, Aurora is our main character who moves to a place she once called home in Colorado. She was recently dumped by her long-term boyfriend and she's looking just to start over and uncover some mysteries in her hometown. She happens to be staying accidentally at Tobias Rhodes' house. Notice I said accidentally. Tobias doesn't really want her staying in his house. It's a really unique scenario on how she gets put in this situation, and I absolutely love Mariana Zapata's brain. In Mariana Zapata books, you are stuck in the main character's brain. Like Aurora, there's not a ton of dialogue, but it's so in depth on the main female character's perspective, quite literally getting every single thought from the main character. And I really appreciate that because you get to love the characters in this book. Absolutely adore. Let's go over some tropes in this book. Slow burn. Obviously. I would say it's like a light enemies to lovers. It's not enemies to lovers. Like there's obvious attraction from the very beginning, but they're both kind of stuck in this weird situation since she's not really welcome in his house in the first like half of the book. But trust me, the tension between them, the enemies part, couldn't get any better. A contemporary enemies to lovers. There's some really quirky side characters. Once again, Mariana Zapata with her characters, she just knows how to write people very well. There is a little bit of miscommunication, but this one is a very realistic miscommunication. They do end up figuring it out pretty seamlessly at the end. It's a small town setting, and Aurora is a very strong female character. She's not like a doormat. She's not getting walked on. Like Aurora is there. She's strong. She's powerful. Love her to death. She's been through so much in her life, and you definitely get to find out how she handles it with Tobias Rhodes. My rating on this book was 5 stars. Now I want to give you guys just one quote. I don't know how anybody would let you walk away, and it isn't going to be me. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Are we clear? Mr. Rhodes, everyone. Now this one, you guys, I'm so excited to talk about this book because I recently just read it and I'm reading the second book right now and I plan to finish it today. I am obsessed. And I don't want to give like a full, like all my full thoughts. I want to save that for my March wrap up. So this one I'm going to give a quick summary. Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I am reading it on my Kindle and my book buying ban is up in a few weeks and I'm going to buy it the second April 1st hits. Diem Bellator is our main character in this series. She is a mortal. Her mom, father, and brother all live in their little cottage together in this really oppressive realm. Yeah, realm. Their world was conquered by the Descended, but the Descended hate the mortals. So the mortals in this book are very segregated. There's a lot of discrimination and it's incredibly sad to watch the mortals in this book the way that the world is described. One day, Diem's mother disappears, and right before Diem's mother's disappearance, she saw her mother talking with a Descended, a mysterious, dark-haired, beautiful man. Luther. Luther is the heir to the Descended throne. So like, why in the world is Diem's mother speaking with the heir to the Descended throne? Like, Descended hate mortals. What is going on? I'm not going to say any more about the plot or any more about the book. Just know I'm on book 2. I'm absolutely loving it. It definitely gives a little bit of like fan fiction vibes. I don't care. I don't care. I love it. Some tropes in this book. The Chosen One trope, prophecies and a lot of politics going on, strong, badass female main character, enemies to lovers, touch her and you die. I'm about to read a quote. Mutual pining and a love triangle. Let me pull up a quote really quick because I took a picture of it. My favorite quote is actually in book 2, but I don't want to read that one for you guys. Okay, this one's a very simple quote. Touch her and I'll rip off your fucking arms. Cute. This one's a cute one. This one's a cute one. Despite the mile-long list of reasons I had to hate him, his answer was so unexpected, so uncharacteristically charming. My grin sped from ear to ear. I want to read the quote from the second book because I posted it on my bookstagram. It's too good. Here's another one from book 2. This one's not a spoiler or anything. If a kiss is the reward, my queen, I'll get on my knees for you whenever you want. It's so good. Okay, I can't read this quote. I'm gonna put it right here, just really quick. I don't want to read the whole thing, it's a long one, but if this does not make you want to read this book, I don't know what will. Now, what exactly makes this book a slow burn? I'm on book 2 and there has been no spice, which might be a complete turnoff, but think Powerless by Lauren Roberts if you've read that. There's no smut in it, but the tension, the banter, the wittiness, all of that combined makes you excited for the smut later. And I do believe we will get smut in this series, just I'm on book 2 and I haven't seen it and I'm like almost done with book 2. And I prefer this in romantasy. I don't really want there to be like a huge smut scene in the middle of the book or at the end of the book. I'm loving how this is drawn out and it is like in a really short time period. So I'm again on book 2, but I've only really been with these characters for like a month, if that makes sense. Like not much time has passed for these characters. So it's a little more realistic. Like it's taking the pace of the book and I really am enjoying it so much. Any interaction between the two main love interests, I'm like giddy. I'm like, what's he gonna say? Like he's so good with his words. But yeah, no smut has happened and that's might be surprising for some of you guys because I read a lot of smutty books and this one is by far my favorite this year. So I did give Spark of the Everflame 5 stars, and since I haven't finished Glow of the Everflame, I'm not sure what I'm going to give that one, but Spark of the Everflame got 5 stars. Because of pure entertainment and enjoyment, I'm not going to say that it was Sarah J. Maas quality or anything like that, but it is the closest book that I've gotten to Sarah J. Maas quality. So now I want to get into Binding 13 and Keeping 13, but I'm going to hold this one because it's a brick. Binding 13 is about Shannon and Johnny. Johnny is a rugby athlete in Ireland and Shannon is a small, petite, that's said very often, schoolgirl, and they both go to school together. There's a lot of trigger warnings in this series, so please look them up, like a lot more than just like the typical. This is a little more intense and it will make you cry. Besides it being a slow burn, there's a lot of emotions in here. Johnny and Shannon, again, they go to school together. There's an accident that happens at the beginning of this book, kind of a silly accident, but it kind of draws Johnny towards Shannon. At first, it's more like they're infatuated with each other. They're like, ooh, serious, cute, fun high school setting, but you don't get any smut or spice in these books. And again, it's just the tension. She has to take things slow in her life to feel more comfortable. There's a lot that happens towards the end of the book because it does kind of pick up the climax area, but again, no spice, more drama and tension and build up rather than just right off the bat. Like it's a dense book. I want to talk about some tropes because the best tropes in this book. Forbidden love. It is a coming of age story. Love triangle. Friendship group, found family, whatever you want to call it. I'm obsessed with this friend group and I'm waiting to get, again, my book buying band's almost up. I'm waiting to get the other books. I forgot Saving Six. I'm dying to get my hands on it. I want to read it so bad. It is a sports romance. Technically, like it's rugby, but the sports are very minimal in here. I love rugby. Good girl, bad boy trope. That's kind of how it's presented, but Johnny is not. Like he is the sweetest guy, but because he's popular and the star of the rugby team, he's known as like the bad boy, if that makes sense. I did give this book 4.5 out of 5 stars, and the second book I believe I gave 4 stars, but that's only because of how dense it is. And like, even though that I absolutely loved it, there is so much dialogue in this book. There's really not a lot of like description and like plot buildup or like setting awareness. A few quotes from this book because there's a lot of words, so I want to go over them. Now tell me who made you cry and I'll fix it. Okay, The next book I want to talk about is another Kindle one that I read, and I will buy the paper copy eventually. Powerless by Elsie Silver. I just read this one last month. It is about Jasper and Sloane. Jasper and Sloane are childhood best friends, and Jasper helps Sloane get out of a sticky situation in the beginning. I don't want to give anything away. Sloane has always, since she was like a little girl, had feelings for Jasper. Since Jasper is a little bit older, he's always been like, no, you're a little young, like not into it. Now that they're adults, both of them are having some feelings towards each other because they have been so close and such best friends for a really long time. They're both hands off. They're like, no, we can't make this happen. We're too close. We're too good of friends. Like, I can't see this going anywhere until like a little road trip happens and some feelings come out. I don't want to say anything else. I just want to tell you the tropes. Childhood best friends to lovers hits so different. They also have like a really tight-knit family friend group, and they don't want to ruin the relationships within them either. So you're just watching them like drool over each other and not be able to do anything about it, and it's amazing. Sports romance. He's a hockey player, but also like grew up on a farm, and like his brothers, like adoptive brothers, are cowboys from the other books. So forced proximity is a big one in this one because that's where the mutual pining starts to blossom, because they're both like, oh wow, I'm around him like in a different setting. Feelings are starting to emerge. Like, what are these feelings for each other? Because Sloane has always had feelings for him, she's kind of just put it on the back burner, like, he'll never like me the way I like him, so it could never happen. So she's kind of never thinking about it, where he's starting to be like, oh my god, we're adults, this could happen. It is quite spicy. This is probably the spiciest book that I'm going to talk about. One of my favorite spicy scenes happens in this book because Jasper has some control issues, likes that domineering aspect, and when it comes out in the bedroom in the first smutty scene, I was shocked at what happened. I was drooling. There was the only one bed trope as well in there. It's a wonderful book. It is, to me, it's a slow burn, only because there's a lot of lead up to the smutty, spicy scenes and to the final like connection of these two characters. Now, the last one is completely out of genre. So far out of romance. Oh god, I can't reach out. Okay, if you're not here for romance, this should be up your alley. And if you haven't read it yet, it is one of my favorite slow burn series, Jade City by Fonda Lee. Totally out of left field right here. Not a romance whatsoever. There is like very small minimal subplot of romance, but it's not a romance. It's not. This book is about two rival clans in a dystopian fantasy world. It's about a family who is struggling to keep the power in their community, and they have to kind of navigate some dangerous situations to keep the family in power. This is completely, like, now that I'm thinking and talking about it, I'm like, why am I recommending this book in this video? It's because it's freaking slow, and like, if you want heavy politics and a found family and you want that aspect in a book and you're looking for something with a little bit more depth, like deep characters, deep world building, deep politics, like so much depth written in this series, I 100% recommend it. It is slow. Like, not a lot is happening for a majority of the series, and you just get to know the characters on such a deep level that the slow burn of this whole issue that they're tackling is perfectly done. Now I want to go over some tropes. It is an urban fantasy. Heavy magic systems, found family, family saga, family politics, family everything, like it's surrounded by one family. Intense world building, and very, like, this isn't a trope, but very Peaky Blinders. Like, that's how if you like Peaky Blinders, like, I imagine that as this book. Like, it just in a completely different setting with a little bit of magic, and like, I don't want to say that, that's a spoiler. But anyway, Peaky Blinders vibes. I want to talk about some quick quotes before my camera dies. Okay. Expectations are a funny thing. When you're born with them, you resent them, fight against them. When you've never been given any, you feel the lack of them in your life. I miss these characters so much. Just seeing their names makes me so sad. And done. That is it for this video. I have to go really quick. Camera's on 3% right now. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Check out my Etsy shop down below. See you guys in the next video.